Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Monday. I have no idea. So, I guess StreamYard did an update, and now there's I think that I'm broadcasting in two streams. I hope all of the comments show up here, but apparently now, if you're viewing this on a mobile phone or something, you can view this in portrait mode as opposed to whatever the one that's up and down is. And I'm seeing both of myselves here. So I hope it works. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I hope people aren't like, oh my God, I can't see comments or something. That's what I'm worried about. Anyways, how is everyone doing? I missed you guys last week. I swear I turned 38 and then my body was like, girl, bye. I had like a week and a half of GI issues, and that was a nightmare. I was convinced I had. At first, I thought I got food poisoning, but like no one in my house was sick, so I was like, okay. And it was more than a couple days, and I'm like, okay. So I couldn't get in to see my general practitioner, but because I've had GERD, I have a GI doctor. My GI doctor was like, yeah, come in. So I went in. She ran all these tests on me. I even had to do a stool sample, you guys. Ugh. Anyways, that's done. And basically it was like, girl, you have a bad case of the tummy aches. And I was like, okay. And then after that, I literally had, I guess, sciatica so badly I could barely walk. I'm like, what is going on? Anyways, I'm feeling much better today, and I've been up since like 4 a.m. I started watching because I can never stay up late enough to rave with the sister Wivians, so I always catch it the next morning. And I was watching it this morning, and I was like, "Oh my God, this was so bad, like so cringe, beyond cringe." And it really just proves to me that Kody really doesn't know his family very well, like his kids very well. Um, and really maybe not even his last standing wife really well. And we'll get into all that. We're going to do a brief like special forces minute, and then we'll cover episode 4 briefly. Not a lot happened in episode 4. I had a couple people in my Facebook group go, if you were gonna miss an episode 4 was a good one to miss because it wasn't the craziest. All right. Oh, let me turn on. Did we like when we can see the chat? I'm gonna turn that on because I think people liked that the last time. So I took a little clip from the episode that really was like, oh wow, you're just laying it all out there, Kody. So let's let the room load, and I'll see you guys back here in a few seconds.
I'm just trying to shake off the big family, that big picture that I had for 35 years.
I'm trying to shake off that big family. Say no more. Say no more. For those of you guys who are watching Special Forces, what are you guys thinking? I think that Kody, it was a swing and a miss for the audience, because while it was so satisfying to watch Kody get yelled at in the first episode, I think ever since then he's been flying under the radar, trying not to get on the DS, the people in charge's nerves. So they're not really like, he's completing tasks. Yeah, he's bossy and pushy. But what really stuck out to me about this latest episode was that when it came time to like naming a cast member that you don't trust or that you would want to like throw under the bus, nobody picked Kody. They picked Chanel. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. So maybe he's getting on people's nerves. Maybe we'll see him get on people's nerves more. Of course, his interviews are like complete bullshit and like misogyny and like I think he's really embracing being a person nobody likes. Like that is a hate view and a like view. It's actually like statistically people that hate you watch your content longer. So he could be going for that rage bait and all of that. But you know, he prepared for the show. So on the one hand, that's nice to see. It was about time that Nick Young quit. I was sad to see Johnny Manziel quit. I really wanted him to do better, go better. I think he got fumbled up with that like wiggly obstacle course where they were like below ground was designed to trip him up, and it did, and then he just was like, nope, I'm out. I was surprised to see Ravi quit because, or you know, tap out because he was doing so well. So yeah, Kody exercises regularly. Mentally, he's a huge fail. And see, we haven't really seen that yet. Him like fumble it up too much with he says like he would get instructions to do 10 things and he could only remember a couple things. I don't feel like we've seen that yet, so I'm interested to see how this progresses. Unless he hurts himself, he is going to go to the end. So and he's not going to say, "Oh, I twisted my ankle. I need to go." Like Stephen Baldwin, who was like, I have a movie to do that I'm going to make a lot more money. So I need you to basically medically withdraw me. Thank you, BCat, for posting the link to the regular format. I will try to figure out, because I don't know why it creates two streams. I guess that's just how it is. But this was like recommended by StreamYard to do it like this. I always do what's recommended. I don't like, and I feel like I'm getting cut off from the portrait mode one. But anyways, I never like to reinvent the wheel, but I apologize if someone's like, why can't I like adjust? Anyways, I'm enjoying Special Forces. It's interesting to see Kody interacting with people that didn't know who he was, obviously weren't trying to like garner his approval or attention. So these are people that we have not seen him interact with in the past, like people that just don't give a shit who he is. I love it. I wish we saw more, a little bit of everyone every episode. We have not seen, there are people we just literally don't ever see. Eric Decker, Jesse James Decker, we see her a little bit. The female soccer player, we see her a little bit, but they're not part of like the drama or the action. Like we see Brianna Chicken Fry a lot. We see Gia Judice a lot. We even don't see Kody that much because I think he's not getting on the DS's nerves on purpose. So, I'm enjoying Special Forces. It's interesting. Also, if you guys watch Sean Johnson and Andrew East, their podcast, I think they link it on YouTube too. They talk about how like the hardest shit that they've done hasn't been shown. Like they'll talk about a challenge that we see and they'll be like, oh, and then we had to do this first. Then we had to do this afterwards. We had to like run 2 miles. And it's like, wow, there's a lot we aren't seeing. It's crazy. Let us touch briefly on episode 4 of season 20. So we're getting boy talk at the bike shop. Mary is online dating, and then we get kind of a montage of all of them talking about how they feel about online dating. You know, Robin would way rather just swoop in and steal your husband than meet a man online. Like that is beneath her. Janelle, I want to move away from focusing on Janelle dating. Obviously, Mary wants to. Obviously, Christine wants to. I think Janelle has made it clear that that is not where her focus is. Like, if like literally she says, if a man falls into her lap, like, and they can stand each other, cool. Other than that, and I wish we would just leave it alone at this point, right? Oh my god, yeah, at the end with the flashcards, I loved it. But so a little gripe on my part. I would like to see them stop harassing Janelle about dating. I wanted to know, you guys, what age gap would make a woman a cougar? Because Jen says that it's like more than 10 years, like she says 10 to 15 years. Because Mary was clearly, we saw Mary really hit it off in speed dating with like the 37-year-old. And she was like, that's too young. Whatever. It's not 17. So, Kody courting in their book. But I would say maybe like 10 years you could be a cougar. 15. I think Demi Moore was a cougar when she married Ashton Kutcher, and I think they were like 15 years apart. But that was like the hot debate of that episode. Kody, we get, Michael, Kody's brother, is helping them move. The whole thing, I made a video on it, the whole thing about like the stink and Robin. And even in this episode, and I'll talk about it in another video this week, but Robin is not picking up what Kody's putting down. All right, you guys think 20 plus is a cougar? Okay. Yeah. He's a professional liar for sure. 100%. Literally, what is that Kandi Burruss clip from Real Housewives, one of the reunions? She's like, the lies. That was me this episode. When he tries to say that he never touched Robin before they were married, there was a couple other things where I was like, that's not true. That's not true. Like, we know you're trying to rewrite history, but that is 100% not true. It was like a very much a don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining moment. Then, okay, so Kody is trying to attract Robin with his stink. He peacocks for her. He really is trying to sell us that he doesn't have eyes for anyone but Robin. All he cares about is what Robin thinks about him, which isn't like, she doesn't think much of you. And he like, I just want to mac on my shy, pretty wife, Robin. It's like, okay, methinks thou doth protest too much. And then the other big thing that happened in this episode was that Peyton moves to North Carolina. And then they're kind of setting this up where it's like a Janelle versus Christine. Is there tension there? I don't think there is. And then in this episode, Christine reiterates what she has said for years, that her and Janelle became extremely close during COVID when Kody abandoned both of their households and they decided that they were going to still continue to be a family. And they realized how much they enjoyed each other's company aside from Kody. So I really think everything's fine there. I don't think there's anything there. I think they're two completely different people that want two completely different things out of life, but they have this shared experience and they both consider each other's kids their kids. Mind you, when Gwen got hit by a bike in Flagstaff and Kody was like nowhere to be found, Janelle went and got her and took her to the hospital. And then Peyton talks about, which is funny because Peyton and Gwen have a contentious relationship, but both of them have sought help from Janelle. They view her just as much of a mom as the mom who I do appreciate Christine saying the way she differentiates kids is kids I pushed out of my womb and like the rest of my kids. It's like, because really that's the only difference to her. And I really believe that's how she views Leon and Janelle's kids. And I think Janelle the same. I don't know how close of a relationship Janelle has with Leon, but Leon, I wish that we saw more. And you know, it's hard because you want to respect everyone's privacy. These kids that have chosen to disassociate from the show, I don't think it's right to pry in their lives, but it would be nice to like see everyone, like the siblings hanging out. That would be nice. All right. Let's move on to dun, 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 episode 5. Brody, when Brody meets Kody. Boy, oh boy. The episode is titled "It Kissing Another Man's Wife." Ho ho ho! It's the Christmas episode. This is so on brand for TLC. Here we are, days away from celebrating Halloween, so another holiday. And TLC is like, this is the perfect time to drop a Christmas episode. This show is a year or more behind schedule anyways. And they jumble the timeline up all the time. I don't know why they felt like this had to be the Christmas episode, but I found it just funny. Like, happy Halloween and Merry Christmas if you're a Sister Wives fan. I always appreciate when we talk about Logan. So he gets invoked right in the beginning. Mary and Jen go to brunch and we learn about this tradition. I don't know if this had ever been brought up on the show before. We all know about Mary making the PJs, but apparently Mary used to make candy canes. What I really loved is that she said that she would let the kids. Oh, so Logan, I guess, texted her for the candy cane recipe. And so that's kind of like on camera, Janelle or Jen is bringing up Mary still has ties to this family, you guys. Don't forget that. But Mary had said when she's recounting the tradition that she would let the kids come into the kitchen to help her make the candy canes. And that I was like, that's really telling, just the way the word choice she used there, because we know that Mary is very particular. Even very recently, Madison talked about how Mary was very difficult, very particular. And so for her to use the word choice of like, let them help me, I was like, I don't even know if that was self-awareness, but it was awareness, even if it was subconscious on some level. So Jen needs to download with Mary, like, what is happening with the family? Mary, this is how pathetic Kody has treated these women. Mary is like, I'm going to give it 6 more weeks. And in my head, I was like, and when that 6 weeks comes up, you'll like give it 6 more weeks. There, because what? Like, you've already are threatening lawyers, and we got a preview for the next time on that they're gonna talk about a possible sale that I think falls through. But because the property sold in April or May, I think. So if at Christmas time, like, that's gonna be longer than 6 weeks, girl. But let's see. Yeah, the name drop in that scene was very much to let us know that Mary talks to one kid in the family. Yeah. I was really I know I saw on Reddit that apparently Logan posted like a supportive comment under one of Kody's special forces posts. And like as viewers, we're like, what the hell, man? Like, why would you do that? And then it's like, as like a human being, it's like, okay, I have to step back and remember. And one of the things I appreciate from like watching McKelty on Patreon is like you witness in real time her kind of sorting through the like all of the bullshit and her very complicated emotions towards her dad. And it's a reminder that this is her real life and this is her real dad. So I remind myself, well, okay, Logan has always been Switzerland. So I remember years ago, I think Mary went to Vegas and and she at least posted on her Instagram a picture of her with Logan and Hunter, like going out to dinner. So I don't think there's any reason why for Logan to not act friendly towards all of the family members. We even saw him kind of extending that olive branch at the memorial service that was filmed. He was the one that we saw him go up and hug Aurora and Brianna, and I saw Gabe too. All of the kids were being extremely generous towards Robin. But I've always viewed Logan as being kind of above the fray. And I remember in season 15, Kody talks about how he had just gone out to dinner with Logan. So I don't know. We don't know because Logan has very purposefully stepped away from the show how contentious his relationship with Kody has been. And so Kody's still his dad at the end of the day. And that's what I just remind myself of is you don't it's never too late until it's too late. Like for Garrison, it's too late, right? And that Kody is always going to have to live with that. But it's not too late for the rest of these kids. And while I think it's deplorable that Kody has not course corrected, do I begrudge him ever course correcting? And I had to like sit back and think, am I begrudging him from course correcting? And it's like, no, Sarah, you don't want people to be forever estranged. So, like, Logan, you are a better person than I am. So, I guess, Courtney, you're bringing up a very good point. We as viewers can't be more mad than the actual people involved. Sometimes I feel, and that is an excellent point to bring up because sometimes I feel like I do get more mad at the way family members, like the way Kody has treated family members than the actual family members. Like Christine will still sit there and like talk about like family contributions that are traditions that Robin brought to the table when it sounded a whole lot like to me like she just co-opted other people's traditions and then passed them off as their own. Like she decided to take over Mary's pajama tradition, but part of Mary's pajama tradition was that Mary made the pajamas. Robin's not making any pajamas. And the whole point of them is they're supposed to be funky. They're supposed to like not fit great because the good memory of that was from a time when the family had no money. Mary was making things out of fabric she had on hand, and it was a loving gesture. Anyone could go out and buy with Kohl's cash however many sets of pajamas, but that was a true act of love. And I think the one thing I will say about Mary is that, and Janelle says this all the time, Mary would never screw the family over. you could trust that Mary would always be fair. She might not always be nice. And I don't think we've seen the depths to the difficultness that Mary could be. But she does love these kids. So let us see. Let me go back to my notes. An interesting topic gets brought up, and I'm really curious. I want you guys to tell me your thoughts. We'll put some comments up on the screen. So I had never thought about this, but Mary talks about how it kind of was fucked up that Christine just signed her portion of Coyote Pass over to Kody. So for me, I was like, that was like easy peasy lemon squeezy. Christine was never going to get a better deal than her taking her house and her giving Kody Coyote Pass. But I never really thought about how that affected Mary and Janelle. And Mary brings that up. So I'm curious to hear what you guys had to think. Should Christine have, hindsight being 2020, seeing obviously the just fuckery that Kody and Robin have made the property, should Christine have been a little bit more more difficult with divorcing Kody? I think Christine just wanted out, and this was the easiest way possible. She shouldn't have, but you understand why she did. The OG3 all got the same amount of money for food. Now remember, Janelle and Christine had 6 kids each, and Mary only had 1. I don't think that was exactly fair. Good point. If in Christine's defense, I think she would have assumed she was signing it over to the family. I don't know. I'm going to push back on that just a tad, because I think Christine was fully aware that any of Kody's money was Robin's money. I don't know to the extent, I guess, that she thought that family money was also Robin's money, but I think she knew how much she wasn't getting and how uneven it was at that point. I don't know. But that's fair. That's fair. I think Christine was just about getting away from him and all the pain. Yeah, I agree. I think ultimately, I don't think Christine did anything to like screw Mary or Janelle over. But, when she walked away, that really made it so glaringly obvious how little Mary had anyways of the property. You know what? Maybe I was looking at through Christine's rose-colored glasses. Why not? And maybe that's Christine's true intention. I really believe from reading Christine's book, I think she goes out of her way to take everything in the light most favorable. I really think she works hard at being a happy person in spite of like bad shit in her life. She's gone through a lot of shit. And I think that she has worked really hard at being like just a happy, jolly person and being known for being a happy, jolly person. So I think that that's fair. All right. So yeah. So should she have consulted Mary and Janelle? I think hindsight being 2020, she probably should have, but obviously in the moment, also she really didn't know. So CK, to your point, she really didn't know if Janelle or Mary were ever going to leave Kody. And while Christine may have been fully convinced that nothing ever was going to happen on Coyote Pass, who is she to say that Janelle or Mary would have felt that way? Maybe Mary would have taken Kody up on his barn dominium offer. Who knows? And you guys bring up a good point about historically, Mary has never been shy about getting what she views as a fair cut of the pie. She got an equal division of money of the family budget when she had one child to feed in her household. When they were getting the Vegas house, she was perfectly empowered to ask for upgrades that she wanted. She didn't say, "Oh, I don't deserve this" or anything like that. So we've seen Mary fight for herself. So I just thought that was a very interesting thing to bring up because I had never thought of that. I thought that was interesting. So thank you guys for putting your input. And even if I didn't put your comment on screen, I hope you guys are chit-chatting amongst yourselves. Let's see. Jen is doing the Lord's work. Jen has her producer hat on. She is asking Mary for real in the Utah accent. How much longer, Mary, until you realize Kody's an ass? And to my surprise, Mary has a time frame. It's 6 weeks. That's when she's going to need an answer about the property. And if this was filmed at Christmas time, we know that it takes longer than 6 weeks for the property to actually get sold. But at least they're holding Kody and Robin's feet to the fire now. They want to see movement. Jen very excellently points out to Mary on camera. I think that viewers needed to hear Mary get told this by someone who Mary respects, who Mary knows cares about her. But Jen tells Mary this is self-inflicted pain at this point. And I was like, I'm so glad someone told her that on camera. BFF Jen is saving us all from dying of boredom during Mary's lack of a storyline. We need, Logan, you might need to go pay Mary a visit or something. Throw her a bone because she still deserves to be on the show. It's not her fault. Well, I guess it is her fault that she burned bridges with Christine and Janelle, but I would say it's not her fault. Obviously, she has one child and that child has opted for privacy. But yeah, best friend Jen is really putting in the work. All right. Jen also gives Mary bitch lessons. You do not control me. Get your shit together. Comb your fucking hair, bitch. Where's my money? Mary is just quoting song lyrics this season. We have Rihanna with "Bitch Better Have My Money," and then we're gonna see her quote some Taylor Swift. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. Let's pop on over to North Carolina. We have a pre-holiday celebration, and something that got mentioned in episode 4 was, okay, so they all go cut down this tree, and Christine is kind of griping about feeling left out. We didn't know that Christine was literally like on her way to town because she shows up in this scene and she's like, oh, that must be the tree that they cut down yesterday. Like, they couldn't wait a day for Christine. So I get why Christine felt left out. We spend way too much time talking about this possible alleged cannonball from the Civil War. I don't know what a Civil War cannonball looks like. That was a ball of metal on the floor. Could have fooled me. So, but we spend a lot of time talking about it. And it turns out I didn't even write down what it actually was. Caleb explained it. It was something about like mines and something. I don't know. It's not a cannonball from the Civil War. I would assume probably if it was like literally from the Civil War, it would probably be in like a museum or something. It wouldn't be just in someone's front yard. Or it could, I mean, people on like Pawn Stars and American Pickers, people would hold on to like crazy stuff that you're like, whoa, that should be like in the Smithsonian or something. And it's just like, yeah, my grandma baked in this dish until like she died 10 years ago or something. Um, we find out that once Christine left Kody, she um she cut off all the family traditions, and the kids were like, what the fuck, mom? We still want to do the candy canes, we still want to do pajamas, we still want to do all these things. And Christine was like, oh, okay. Like Christine was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you to like Kody, Robin, Mary. And with that, she thought she would say fuck you to their traditions too. And the kids were like, no, no, no. We might not be we might not appreciate Mary and Robin and Kody or whatever, but we don't hate the Christmas traditions. And like I said in the beginning, I'm so over like talking about Janelle needing to date. We didn't really spend too much time on that this episode. They're pressing her to get on Farmers Only, I guess, because they think that that's like a funny website, but it's like, what? Farmers need love too. And lo and behold, David was on Farmers Only, and he made me laugh because he was like, yeah, I was on everything. Game recognizes game. My husband and I met on Tinder. I've done all of the apps. Well, that was available at that time. I hadn't done Bumble. That was like just starting, or like Hinge. I didn't do those, but it Plenty of Fish, Okay Cupid, Match. I think there were some others. And I even paid to be able to like super swipe on Tinder so I could just like have unlimited swiping. I don't know if it's still like this, but at the time, the like free version was you got like 5 swipes a day or something. And I was like, oh, no, that is not going to be enough for me. And then, yeah, like I think I was on Tinder for like a year before I met my husband. I was my husband's second date on Tinder. Like men stay having it so easy. I swear to God. We find out that Janelle has a kind of a spectrum of a type. She likes Javier Bardem and Sam Elliott, both good choices. She thought they were handsome, but at the end of the day, she ended up with Kody, the skin headband. I love that Mary, Janelle, and Christine are all constantly shading Kody now that they don't give a fuck. And Kody, like, this is the show that Kody is on. So I guess that kind of makes sense that he is like going so hard, trying to be like, so I have the hots for Robin. We have the hots for each other. Robin thinks I'm so attractive and I'm so manly and blah, blah, blah. Because he has 3 ex-wives just dogging him the entire episode. I love it. Let's pop back on over to Flagstaff. They're unpacking, and they talk about something we all know to be true. They've got a ton of shit. But Robin claims this is because Kody has quadruples of everything. It's definitely not because of Robin's shopping addiction. Cut to Christine chimes in with how Kody went from carrying a duffel bag to people's houses to starting to keep stuff at people's houses. Then we pop on over, and Mary just talks about how Kody was quiet quitting her for a long time. He would, like, they would move. He would just not move stuff back into Mary's. He was moving stuff over to Robin's, and he just essentially was Irish goodbying her over and over and over again. Then we learn Aurora pops in, and she says that this guy that she has been talking to, named Brody, has asked her to be his girlfriend. And that was really it for that scene. Let's pop on over to NYC. Jen and Mary, because Mary has some business in NYC. They're taking a trip at the butt crack of dawn, and Mary is hoping to meet a man. This will be her miracle on 34th Street. But it ends up they don't really get to do all the things that they wanted to do because it was raining and snowy. Back over in North Carolina, they're going to decorate the outside Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And like I was saying, it's kind of fucked up that they went before. I can throw Christina a bone. Christina's extra as fuck. That's how we like her. But I would be kind of in my feelings too if like my whole family did something like the day before I got to town. I know people have work schedules and they're probably trying to cram a lot into a limited amount of time. That's probably why they went the day before, but still, I would still be in my feelings. And this is when Christine talks about how her and Janelle became really close during COVID. And my note here, I was like, they're going to be fine. They're going to be family forever. Back over in Flagstaff, Robin notes that Aurora is 22. This is her first serious boyfriend. Kody wants to know if Brody looks at Aurora the way Kody looks at Robin. Aurora says, yes. I'm wondering, is Brody the new Caleb? Is Kody just going to be fawning all over Brody and making him super uncomfortable? It would appear probably. He definitely got the make them super uncomfortable down, locked that in early. Poor Aurora. Oh my gosh. Like Kody really was doing everything in his power to like ruin this relationship before it ever got off the ground. And I think it's because he doesn't know Aurora very well. He doesn't know his kids really at all. And that's like, that goes for the McMansion kids too. I think everything he knows about his kids is incredibly superficial. And he, like, this whole episode for their segments should have been about Aurora. But instead, it was about Kody trying to co-opt Aurora's new love dating experience and making it about when he met Robin. And it's like these things could not have been more different. You were in your 40s when you met Robin. You had 3 wives. You had 13 kids. This is not the same situation at all. But Kody had to make Garrison's funeral about himself. Kody has to make every wedding about himself. Kody has to make Aurora getting a boyfriend about himself. So Kody notes that this Brody fellow did not ask for Kody's permission to date Aurora. And Robin is like, we don't do that because we're not AUB anymore. Then, this was something I was like, I feel like this is bullshit. Kody tells us in an interview that Aurora very specifically told him, you're my dad. I want you to protect me in these dating situations. Somehow I seriously doubt that. Kody says he's probably going to be really discriminating because Robin has been divorced and he's been divorced a whole bunch. So as failures, it's game recognizes game. He knows a loser when he sees one because he is one, I guess. Let's pop back on over to North Carolina, where we learn that nature's cough syrup, you guys, gird your loins, is apparently onion and honey. Janelle does bring up the time that they had lapses in health insurance. And during one of those lapses, Maddie's appendix burst. I can't imagine the like, and this is for my non-US crowd, something that you probably won't understand, the literal like second guessing you do, like when you're in pain and need medical attention, but you know that this trip to the emergency room is going to cost you an arm and a leg, even with insurance. I can't even imagine having that thought knowing I didn't have insurance. But like your daughter's appendix burst and she's literally going to die, but you're thinking, oh man, how much is this going to cost? It's a uniquely American thing, I guess. And Janelle talked about how she paid that off for years. It was like a student loan. We just paid off the rest of my husband's student loan like this past year. So those things always get you. It's like death, taxes, and student loans. Janelle also kind of gives us a history lesson with the government in Utah, I guess, has always been really harsh towards polygamous families when applying for health insurance, because I guess they viewed these families as trying to like game the system. I mean, obviously one person can't have a plan, or I guess I don't know. Like, what did the Duggars do? Because like that was one man, one wife, and a whole shit ton of kids, more than Kody had. So would you really say, sorry, you max out at 10? I don't know. So we hear from Mykelti that she loves little balls. Good for you, Mykelti. Christine explains how a lot of times, Christmas in plural families, it would be the father going house to house. So when Robin told us years ago that she would wait for her dad to come for them to celebrate holidays, they didn't all get that. And so that was something that the Browns did differently. They made everyone get together, no matter how much everyone hated each other. We are a family. So we're bebopping all around town. Now we're going back over to Flagstaff. Brody's coming over. And Kody wants to be buddies. Kody and Brody, now take that for a spinoff TLC. And Kody is just being super, as Monica says, a creep, because he just, anytime he talks about like young love or Aurora and dating, he just talks about how horny he is for Robin. And it's like, first of all, nobody wants to talk about their parents like that. Also, there were like, I guess Saul's like 13 or 14. Well, he's 13 or 14 now. He probably was like 12 there. But like, Ariella is still like 8 or 9, dude. Like, come on. He's like trying to grind up on Robin. It's like, dude, chill out. Oh, man. Yeah, Kody's like, now that I've lost Caleb, do you think I'm cool, Brody? And I had a thought. What if this is why, or one of the reasons why, Kody is not chill with Mykelti and Tony anymore? Remember? Oh, we love Tony. We're so, that was like seasons 17 and 18 was all about Kody talking about how much he loves Tony and how much he appreciates Mykelti being the bridge between like him and the rest of his kids and blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, we don't know them. I wonder if it's because Kody is like, oh, I got a new buddy. I don't have to pretend I like Tony anymore. Oh, let us see. So we meet up with Jen and Mary. They're in New York City. They're shopping the Christmas markets. Then we get Jen telling us that when she met Mary, she didn't realize how like sheltered Mary was. Mary had never traveled before. Mary wouldn't travel by herself. And this was really sad and shitty, in my opinion. So we learned that Mary goes on this trip to Lake Havasu. Not my favorite place. Sorry if it's yours. But it just is what it is. But so she goes to Lake Havasu. I probably would have sent her anywhere else in the world on a first trip, but she went to Havasu. And she was saying how she really never felt like she wanted to travel alone, but then obviously, like, no one was going to be traveling with her. So what was she going to do? Like, just die in her house alone? So she ends up traveling, but then it cuts to Kody, and this is what I thought was shitty. Kody was like, yeah, Mary was always gone. She always disappeared. We never knew where she was. And Christine chimes in that she really started vacationing without Kody when they moved to Flagstaff. And Mary is very, like, persistent in conveying to the viewer that Jen has been her constant. And then this is what I thought was interesting. Mary has told us that she doesn't do dating apps. She doesn't like dating apps, blah, blah, blah. But then she tells us that when she travels, she changes the location on her dating apps. And I was like, that is a pro move. That is a pro move. That is someone who frequents the apps kind of a move. But we can't harp on that too long because you guys, drum roll please, moment has arrived. Brody's here. And we are going to decorate a tree upstairs. And spoiler alert, it's a much smaller tree than Robin thought it was. I cannot believe. So what was funny is that we see so many shots of their garage full of shit. Everything that they bring out to decorate is brand new stuff. I just thought that was funny. And I think production truly is trolling Kody and Robin. And I just love it because you know that these two are never going to quit the show proactively. They're never going to be like, fuck this. Like, you know, everyone's talking shit about us. No, because they have to. They are hostages to this embarrassment now. And that keeps me watching. That will keep me watching for years to come. So Robin doesn't realize that these are like littler trees. In all of the shopping Robin has done in her life, how could she possibly not realize that this tree was much smaller than she thought it was? Anyways, it's really neither here nor there, I guess. We've learned that Brody's a cowboy. Can Kody trust his daughter with a cowboy? Kody says, I can trust her with this cowboy. Oh, and then because now we have to talk about how Brody needs to protect Aurora from himself, we learn that Brody has gifted Aurora a knife. I've been with my husband. We're going to celebrate our 7th wedding anniversary in December. He's never given me a weapon. I don't know. Like, should I say it's our 7 years? I get a weapon now. If I want like a sword, maybe an axe. I don't know. I want something cool. Not a pocket knife and not a gun. I don't like guns. I want something cool. Something I can like mount. Yeah, maybe a sword. Anyways, so Aurora has a knife and she just like whips it out. She's like, yeah, this is my knife. Carry it around with me all the time. The amount of tripping and falling I do on a regular basis. And you know, I would never like have that thing holstered to where the like blade was covered. So it would like stab me in the thigh 100%. That would have happened to me by now if I was Aurora. So it's maybe we don't. Maybe Matt, don't get me a weapon. I don't need a weapon. I'm not trying to rile anyone up to where I would need to like defend myself with like force. And if someone wants to just beat the shit out of me, like, what am I going to do? Right? I do have health insurance, so take me to the ER, get me bandaged up. Uh, um, oh, and this is when Kody talks about how you need to keep your hands off of a woman because you're kissing another man's wife if you don't marry her. And it's like, this was the theme of my last video, was like, I want to talk about the fact that your body does not belong to anybody but you. Aurora's body belongs to Aurora. If Aurora wants to, you know, bully on her, be safe, be smart, be safe, but that is her prerogative. And it's just rich because in this scene, Kody talks about how he was able to be chased with Robin because he could go unload literally in his other wives. Gross. Gross. But it's time for eggnog. So let's wrap up this tree trimming and go have some eggnog. We pop on over. Now we're really like wrapping up Christmas. We're wrapping up the episode. It's time to Christmas carol, and Janelle's like, don't put me down for Christmas caroling. And it was really funny because Christine was trying to get this like round robin singing happening, and it was like everyone was not into it. People were confused. Caleb was like trying to like, you know, be the muscle for Christine and getting everyone doing it. And they ended up singing, and it was, you know, Christine just wanted a flash mob. And then Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. What did you guys think of episode 5? What did you think of Kody's parenting? To me, it was really obvious that he never parents. I truly believe that when he spends, when we hear that McKelty tell us that when Kody was over there, he was spending all of his time on his phone or in the garage or whatever, I think he does the same thing at Robin's. I think Robin has found her own hobbies, and that don't include Kody. I don't think Kody is playing dollies with Robin. I think that these two, I'll go and be so bold as to say, I think these two live as roommates. I don't see a lot of sexual tension between them anymore. I think Kody's overcompensating now. And much like, and we saw in episode 4, he kind of pokes fun at himself for like faking it and like trying to be like, we're so happy polygamous when everyone was miserable. And I think that that's what's happening now with his marriage to Robin. He's talking about how like horned up he is for Robin all the time, but I just don't see, there is no physical chemistry between these two. We used to see a lot of physical chemistry between Kody and Robin, but I don't see it anymore. So, oh, Pamela, you have horses, you carry a knife at all times, especially when you ride in case your horse gets tangled. So I learned something. My daughter just had to do a project about a non-house pet. So it had to be on an animal, not a dog or cat, essentially. And she did hers on horses. And what I learned while we did this project is that they measure horses in hands. I thought that was a fun fact. Anyways, if you learned anything tonight, folks, it is that they measure horses in hands. And that's all I got. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. It's always good to do our sister lives. We're going to talk more about Kody and Robin's seeming incompatibility. And I really think this relationship, we're going to see a divorce between these two play out. And that is going to be good television. So we will see, we'll just see how that goes. All right, you guys, I will catch you in my next video. Take care. Have a good one and much love.